It's a huge advantage if you have somebody who can be recognised as that.
And so we literally came back from school, climbed on our ponies.
In a heart-wrenching moment at a royal event, Princess Anne was seen in tears as she stepped in to protect Princess Charlotte from Queen Camilla's sharp words. What sparked this emotional clash between the Princess Royal and the Queen Consort? The palace is buzzing with whispers of a family rift, and we're uncovering the shocking truth behind this dramatic showdown. Let's get right into it. Princess Anne, the steely and unflappable daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, is known for her no-nonsense attitude and tireless work ethic. At 74, she's the hardest-working royal, clocking over 400 engagements a year. But in early July 2025, during a state banquet at Windsor Castle, Anne reportedly broke down in tears, an unprecedented display of emotion, while defending her great-niece Princess Charlotte from Queen Camilla. This incident has sent shockwaves through royal circles, raising questions about tensions within the House of Windsor and what it means for the monarchy's future. To set the scene, the event was a grand state banquet on July 8, 2025, hosted by King Charles III and Queen Camilla to honor French President Emmanuel Macron. The guest list was a who's who of royals. The evening was meant to showcase the monarchy's unity and strength, especially amid Charles's ongoing cancer treatment. But behind the glittering tiaras and polished diplomacy, a family drama unfolded that no one saw coming, according to Unverified. Reports circulating on platforms like X and YouTube, the incident began when Queen Camilla, 77, made a comment to Princess Charlotte, the 10-year-old daughter of William and Catherine. Charlotte, known for her poised yet playful demeanor at events like Trooping the Colour, was reportedly at the banquet, though children typically don't attend such formal occasions. Sources claim Camilla remarked on Charlotte's behavior, possibly criticizing her for being too animated or not adhering to royal protocol. The exact words are unclear, but the comment was sharp enough to upset Charlotte, who was seen looking distressed. Enter Princess Anne. Witnesses say the Princess Royal, who was nearby, overheard the exchange and stepped in immediately. Anne, who has a close bond with her niece Catherine and her children, reportedly confronted Camilla, defending Charlotte. The conversation grew heated, and to the shock of onlookers, Anne's voice cracked, and tears welled in her eyes. This was a rare crack in Anne's tough exterior. She's the royal who famously told a would-be kidnapper in 1974 to not bloody likely when he demanded she exit her car. So what pushed her to such an emotional breaking point? Let's unpack the context. Princess Anne and Queen Camilla have a complex relationship. Anne, born into royalty, has spent her life upholding tradition and duty, earning respect for her resilience and work ethic. Camilla, who became Queen Consort after marrying Charles in 2005, has faced public and familial skepticism, particularly from those loyal to Princess Diana. While Anne has maintained a professional demeanor toward Camilla, there have been hints of tension. A 2022 report from Radar Online claimed Camilla upset Catherine at Queen Elizabeth's funeral by scolding her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, for what she deemed inappropriate behavior, allegedly driving Catherine to tears. If true, this pattern of Camilla critiquing the Wales children could explain Anne's protective reaction. Charlotte, at 10, is a beloved figure in the royal family. She's often seen as a miniature version of her great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, with a knack for protocol and a passion for horses, a trait shared with Anne and her daughter, Zara Tyndall. Charlotte's presence at the banquet, while unusual, isn't implausible. Royals occasionally bring children to less formal parts of state visits, and Charlotte's attendance might have been a nod to her growing role in the family. But Camilla's alleged comment, whether about Charlotte's manners or something else, struck a nerve. Anne, who has no patience for what she sees as unfair criticism, reportedly felt compelled to intervene. Now, let's address the source of this story. The claim about Anne's tears and her defense of Charlotte first surfaced on social media, particularly X, around July 9, 2025. A post by user WantRoyalGossip22 described the incident, claiming Anne was in tears defending Charlotte from Camilla's harsh words at the Macron banquet. The post, which garnered thousands of reposts, cited an anonymous palace insider. YouTube channels like Royal Insider TV amplified the story, with one video titled "Princess Anne Breaks Down Saving Charlotte from Camilla's Wrath," featuring an AI-generated thumbnail of a tearful Anne shielding Charlotte. However, major outlets like the BBC, The Times, and The Guardian have not reported on this incident. And Snopes has debunked similar royal rumors, like the claim that William stripped a title from Camilla's granddaughter for bullying Louis. Without official confirmation, we must approach this story with caution. So, why would Anne react so emotionally? The Princess Royal is fiercely protective of her family, especially the younger generation. She's been a mentor to Catherine, helping her navigate royal life, and has a soft spot for William's children. In a 2020 documentary, Anne spoke warmly of Charlotte's love for horses, noting, "She's got her great-grandmother's spirit." If Camilla's comment was perceived as an attack on Charlotte, it could have triggered Anne's protective instincts. Moreover, Anne's emotional response might reflect broader frustrations. With Charles's health uncertain and the monarchy stretched thin, Anne has taken on more duties, including Royal Week in Scotland alongside Charles and Camilla. The pressure of these responsibilities, combined with a perceived slight against Charlotte, could have pushed her to the edge. Let's consider Camilla's perspective. As queen consort, Camilla has worked to carve out a respected role, focusing on causes like literacy and domestic violence. But her relationship with William and Catherine has been strained at times. The 2022 funeral incident, where Camilla reportedly criticized the Wales children's behavior, suggests a pattern of tension. Camilla's traditional views on royal decorum might clash with Catherine's more modern parenting style, which emphasizes normalcy for George, Charlotte, and Louis. If Camilla did reprimand Charlotte at the banquet, it might have been an attempt to enforce protocol, unaware of how it would be received. But why would she target Charlotte in such a public setting? Another angle is the monarchy's current dynamics. King Charles's cancer diagnosis, announced in February 2024, has placed immense pressure on the working royals. Anne, William, Catherine, Edward, and Sophie are carrying the bulk of public duties, with Camilla stepping up despite her own reported health concerns. The state banquet was a high-stakes event, showcasing the monarchy's strength during Charles's illness. Any disruption, like a child's perceived misbehavior, could have heightened tensions. Camilla, under scrutiny as queen consort, might have felt compelled to assert authority, only to clash with Anne, who prioritizes family loyalty over protocol. Let's explore the setting. Windsor Castle, where the banquet took place, is a symbol of royal tradition dating back to the 11th century. The event was meticulously planned, with Camilla wearing the Belgian sapphire tiara and Anne debuting a new hairstyle, abandoning her iconic beehive for a sleek updo. The coordinated ivory gowns worn by Camilla, Anne, Sophie, and the Duchess of Gloucester symbolized the French tricolour, a diplomatic gesture. Amid this carefully curated display, a public spat between Anne and Camilla would have been a major breach of decorum, making the story's lack of mainstream coverage suspicious. Could this be another case of online misinformation? Thine Torsillo. Family is a magnet for rumors, especially on platforms like X and YouTube. A similar story in June 2025 claimed William stripped a title from Camilla's granddaughter for bullying Louis, but Snopes found no evidence to support it. The current story follows a similar pattern: a viral post, an AI-generated image, and no corroboration from reputable sources. The YouTube video from Royal Insider TV, which has over 150,000 views, relies on insider claims without naming sources. This raises the possibility that the story was exaggerated or fabricated for clicks, tapping into public fascination with royal drama. But let's assume there's a kernel of truth. If Anne did confront Camilla, it might reflect deeper tensions. Anne has been a confidant to Charles, just as she was to Elizabeth, but her relationship with Camilla is less clear. Camilla's rise to queen consort has not been universally embraced, and Anne, a traditionalist, might resent what she sees as Camilla's overreach. The incident with Charlotte could have been a flashpoint, exposing underlying friction. Anne's tears, if real, might stem from frustration, not just at Camilla, but at the monarchy's precarious state as Charles's health falters and William prepares for the throne. What about Charlotte's role in this? At 10, she's growing into her public duties, often stealing the show with her poise. At Trooping the Color 2025, she wore a horseshoe brooch gifted by Queen Elizabeth, a nod to her equestrian interests shared with Anne. If Camilla criticized her, it could have been a misunderstanding. Perhaps Charlotte was fidgeting or speaking out of turn, natural for a child at a formal event. Anne's defense would align with her protective nature, especially toward a child who reminds her of her late mother. Let's consider an alternative theory. Could this story be a distraction from other royal issues? Charles's cancer treatment, Catherine's recovery from her own cancer diagnosis, and the ongoing rift with Harry and Meghan dominate headlines. A story about Anne and Camilla could shift focus from these challenges, especially if leaked by someone with an agenda. The monarchy's PR machine is adept at managing narratives, and a dramatic tale of family conflict might deflect attention from Charles's health or William's reported concerns about Camilla's influence. The broader context is the monarchy's evolution. William, as heir, is pushing for a slimmed-down monarchy, potentially reducing titles and roles for extended family members. Camilla's prominence as queen consort, especially during Charles's illness, might clash with William's vision. Anne, caught between loyalty to Charles and support for William, could be navigating a delicate balance. Her emotional reaction might reflect not just the incident with Charlotte, but the weight of these larger tensions. Skepticism is warranted. The lack of mainstream coverage and reliance on anonymous sources suggest the story may be overblown. Snopes' debunking of similar rumors underscores the prevalence of royal misinformation online. Yet the story's persistence reflects real public interest in the monarchy's dynamics. Anne's reputation as a stoic figure makes the idea of her in tears compelling, even if unverified. Camilla's history of clashing with Catherine over parenting adds plausibility, but without hard evidence, we're left with speculation. What does this mean for the monarchy? If true, the incident highlights fractures in the royal family at a time when unity is crucial. Charles's illness, combined with a leaner roster of working royals, puts pressure on Anne, William, and Catherine to hold the institution together. A public spat between Anne and Camilla, even if exaggerated, could fuel anti-monarchy sentiment, as seen in trending X hashtags like #abolish_the-monarchy. The royal family's ability to weather this storm depends on their ability to project stability. But secrets have a way of slipping out. As we piece together this puzzle, one question lingers. What else is happening behind palace walls? Was Anne's emotional moment a one-off, or is it a sign of deeper rifts? The monarchy's future hangs in the balance, and this story, true or not, hints at battles yet to come. What will happen when William takes the throne, and will Camilla's role spark more conflict?